Well, May 7th has come and gone. Still here, still waiting patiently for Father to call us home. In my last study, I emphasized that on God's calendar, I thought this very well could be our calling on day number 17. And that was mostly due to the thoughts of correlations of the past. Genesis 3:13 being on that day when the serpent beguiled Eve, and also when Noah and his family were shut into the ark and the flood began. Instead, I feel now that these dates are just a starting point to where we go next. And how can we actually know when Father will come for us? Better yet, can we know? Matthew 24:36 gives us some sort of indication that we really shouldn't know. As it says, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. If we do further research on this and actually turn to the next chapter, Matthew 25:13, it says, watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man comes. You is the unwise. The wise knew, but the unwise didn't. And to them this message refers to. So now let's turn back to Matthew 24:29 and read, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. This is the timing that one shouldn't know of. Only the Father shall know of the timing of when Yahushua returns with his ones in white. So indeed, we can know when Yahushua will be coming for his elect to grab his bride. So let's continue searching for that timing. And in looking where to go from here, I remember that Sister Sherry told us, and so it's going to be a process to remove all of these people off the earth. And Father told me it would take 10 days. And indeed, he did say, for 10 days I will gather my people, and then I will shut the door. The time is now. And of course, we know that that timing ended up being delayed. Pray for the redemption of my people. So although the last time was delayed, the process of the 10 days should stay the same for the removal of the elect. And so I think we should count the starting of the 10 days on the 18th day of the second month. As Jubilees 5:23 says, he entered in the 6th year of it, in the second new month, until the 16th. He entered in all that we brought to him into the ark, and Yah closed it from the outside on the 17th evening. So on the 18th we start counting. So if there's 10 more days to go in this collection process of Father's elect, then from the 18th we will be looking at a new date. And thus, the final day that we should be looking for this process be on would be the 27th day of the second month on God's calendar, which would match with May 17th on our Gregorian calendar. And what we find on that day is some interesting historical events that I feel would be definitely a good correlation to Yahuwah's and Yahushua's elect finally leaving. And the first historical event that happened dealt with Noah. It just so happens that on the second month of the 7th and 20th day of the month, the earth was dried. And Yahuwah told Noah to go forth of the ark. Now the Hebrew word for dried as in the earth was dried, is H3001. And it means ashamed, confused, disappointed, withered, confounded. And indeed, at this time, we find that the earth is really dried up. It's so dark, little light. And Matthew 24:22 tells us, and except those days be shortened, there would be no flesh saved, but for the elect's sake, those days will be short, because they are taken, because the earth is dried up. Instead of going forth from the ark this time, the elect go forth with the ark, in the ark of the covenant. So in this manner, still the coming of the Son of Man would be as were in the days of Noah, as Matthew 24:37 tells us it would be. Now the second historical event that would be happening on this day would be when Luke 24:50 through 51 says that when he had led them out to the vicinity of Bethany, he lifted up his hands and blessed them. While he was blessing them, he left them and was taken up to heaven. And Acts 1:3 tells us that that would have been the 40th day that this would have happened. 40 days equals from the 18th day of the first month, when he was first seen, through the end of the month of 30 days, equaling 13 days, into the 27th day of the second month. Two totals, 13 and 27, equal a total of 40 days. Knowing that Acts 1:11 says he will come back in the same way, I wonder if will not just be in the same way, but possibly on the same day. Sister Sherry has said, the Father closes the door and judgment hits the earth. You're going to see great earthquakes, volcanoes. If we stay on this timeline we're on right now, and I'll say this again, I think I said it last year in May, because I always see this in the month of May. I've just always felt it in my spirit. Now, she's also said, anyway, this month of May, my favorite month, I love it. First fruits. The first fruits. This is the month I expect the first fruits will leave. Finally, she said, as we leave, they arrive. Remember that I always said that those events were back to back, because they literally piggyback off of it. The glory of us leaving, they're going to piggyback on that glory ride. You know, they're going to piggy off that radiance, that illumination going on in the skies when we leave, to bring in their arrival, because they can't produce it themselves. And speaking of them, she's also said, I know the Muslims have been waiting for their 12th Imam to arrive. That is Maitreya. And so his arrival date, he's always wanted to arrive. The prophecies are that he arrives during prayer time. And so typically that is Friday. Friday is the Sabbath day for the Muslims. And so it's always been a target date for his arrival to arrive on a Friday. And again, what do we see? But May 17th, 2019 is indeed a Friday. So will this date end up becoming a time again for an ascension, when the elect will be called home? And if so, will this date also become their arrival date when they try to piggyback in? As always, Yahuwah bless you in your search for the truth in all things.